Havana, 1960. A woman sits on the edge of a hotel bed. Hidden inside her jar of cold cream are 2 CIA-issued poison capsules, but the humidity has turned the lethal dose into useless moisturizer. Fidel Castro wakes up and looks at her. He knows exactly why she's there. He pulls a .45 caliber pistol from the nightstand and hands it to her, saying, "You can't kill me. Nobody can." She doesn't pull the trigger. This was attempt number 84. To understand why Washington was so desperate, we have to look at 1959. At 32 years old, Castro seized power and immediately nationalized $1 billion in U.S. assets, sugar refineries, oil companies, and hotels overnight. Revolutionary groups across Latin America were studying Cuba's every move. If one man could seize $1 billion in property and survive a year later, he became living proof that the United States could be defied and lived with. Castro was no longer a minor jungle rebel. He was a nuclear-backed threat sitting 90 miles from Key West, giving 4-hour speeches on live television. The mandate from the top shifted. Fidel Castro could not be allowed to exist. The CIA approached this mission with total confidence. They had already mastered the art of the coup. In 1953, they overthrew the government of Iran in 8 days, using briefcases of cash and planted newspaper stories. In 1954, they executed the same playbook in Guatemala, removing the president in under 2 weeks. To the analysts in Washington, Cuba was just another small island with no air force and no navy. They launched Operation Mongoose, the largest covert operation in CIA history. It involved 400 full-time agents, a $50 million annual budget, and direct authorization from the president. This was the most powerful espionage organization in human history, aiming its full weight at one man. They had the resources, the technology, and the expertise to make any target disappear. Yet, over 5 decades, this campaign resulted in 638 consecutive failures. The most sophisticated intelligence agency on Earth was about to discover they were never the hunters. The initial plans followed professional tradecraft. The Technical Services Division engineered odorless, tasteless poison capsules, designed to kill in hours without leaving a trace in an autopsy. But Castro's routine was a fortress. He used rotating kitchen staff, who didn't know which dish was for him until it left the kitchen. He ate at random times and random locations, often changing his plans minutes before sitting down. In 1960, the CIA turned to the Mafia bosses who once ran Havana's casinos. They handed poison capsules to men like Santos Traficante, hoping the mob's old network of bartenders and waiters could reach Castro's glass. The Mafia plot collapsed in a hotel freezer. An agent reached for the poison pill, only to find it frozen solid to the inner wall. As he tried to pry it loose, the capsule shattered in his fingers. As professional methods failed, the agency turned to bizarre gadgets. They designed cigars packed with explosives, and tried to hide thallium salts in his shoes to make his iconic beard fall out, theorizing his image as a strongman would collapse with his hair. They even rigged a diving suit with tuberculosis bacteria and a fungal agent designed to produce chronic skin disease, planning to deliver it through a back-channel diplomat. These plans moved through real chains of command and were funded with millions of taxpayer dollars. The CIA had entered a state of institutional obsession, unable to accept the rational conclusion that their target was outperforming them. For decades, the agency attributed their failures to bad luck. They ignored the fact that their agents were vanishing, their safe houses raided, and their communication channels dying at the exact moment an operation was set to begin. The real reason for the failure was the DGI, Cuba's intelligence service. Trained by the KGB, the DGI didn't just defend Castro, they ran a sophisticated counter-operation against the CIA. As this flowchart shows, the DGI penetrated the CIA at every level. Double agents recruited by Cuba were rogging information on every poison shipment and every mafia contact directly back to Havana. The frozen pills and vanishing safe houses weren't accidents. Castro often knew the details of a plot before the assassins assigned to kill him even finished their training. The CIA was feeding its entire operational playbook to a superior counter-assassination machine. Every desperate attempt only gave Castro more data on how the agency operated. In their desperation, the agency weaponized personal heartbreak. They recruited Marita Lorenz, a 19-year-old woman whose pregnancy with Castro had been terminated without her consent, and sent her back to Havana with a weapon hidden in her luggage. The final scoreboard is a testament to 50 years of failure. This timeline tracks 638 documented assassination attempts. Castro outlived 8 CIA directors and 11 U.S. presidents who wanted him dead. He outlasted the agents, the directors, and the mafia bosses hired to kill him. The CIA's belief in its own absolute power created a blind spot large enough for a tiny island nation to dismantle their operations. They were so focused on the target that they failed to realize they were the ones being watched. On November 25, 2016, Fidel Castro died of natural causes in his bed. He was 90 years old. After 5 decades of explosives, biological weapons, and psychological warfare, the only weapon that finally worked was the one the CIA could never control: time.